I'm E.
I'm Ram.
I'm Cakes.
Welcome to the next movement, folks.
Real T, baby daddy trying to creep on me. Every door going wrong. If you let him off the leash, gotta hit him upstairs. I can't travel on a beat, miss things so hot. Turn down that heat like no peace when I pump up the streets. Screaming down your block and I'm bumping Khalees. Look, I don't share and I don't sublease. Better leave him on the grill, cause that's my meat. Lottie Dottie, shut down your party. I'm hopping out Ferraris, me and a couple yardies. Razor in the cheek, TNT on the body. It's the time to chill and the time to get rowdy. Tick, tick, boom, my reputation. He just fell for a new temptation. So I got a 7 with a new citation. I'm not spinning in no rotation. You can't have it, and me too. You can't have it, and me too. You can't have it, and me too. You can't
love with me. Cakes Da Killa, thank you so much for joining us. This is a privilege.
Wow, thank you for having me.
Oh, yes. We are excited. We love the new album, Black Sheep. It is amazing. We're going to get into all the things. But first, I just want to say, I've been listening to this album for the past couple of weeks, and I've been thinking about the phrase Black Sheep, right? And how this title speaks to your artistry. You seemingly create art without catering to what folks might think hip hop should sound like, should look like. You're in your own lane, embracing and celebrating what makes you different from the rest. And that really reminded me of the early days of house music and house community, and how folks in this culture who were different and not always accepted by the mainstream created their own underground universe. And that really gave them the freedom to make groundbreaking art. So how much were you inspired by this movement, and how do you see your music continuing to carry its legacy?
Well, for me, I just feel like rap also has that. Growing up in the 90s, you really couldn't sound like another rapper. Like that would be considered biting. That would be considered not cool. I feel like within the last maybe 10 or 7 years, I don't know, it's like cool to sound like other people. So for me, I feel like rap, in its essence was very underground. It started off very underground and people had to have their own identities. So for me, blending other elements or other genres into my rap music, to me, it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything different because I grew up listening to Tribe and I grew up listening to, like Busta Rhymes, who, they were doing that. So I'm not trying to be different with that. I just, it is what it is. But I feel like now it's being more true to that is what makes me stand out more.
Mm-hmm. That's a good shout to hip hop being similar to this culture. And I think that's why the two cultures have always sort of been intertwined.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think about nightlife and underground culture, especially in New York, all those things were kind of bubbling and overlapping at the same time, whether we're talking about, the kids that would go to the punk clubs, or we're talking about the kids that would go to Paradise Garage. Like there was way more overlap and cross-pollination than people care to think about or like actually address. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, throughout the album, throughout Black Sheep, I hear this consistent message being sent that essentially says, I get to do whatever I want. Art knows no bounds. And if you can't understand that, then this isn't for you. But, oh, by the way, all this is grounded in tradition, kind of like what you were just saying. You quote like some golden age rap lyrics and make references to that throughout the album. And on the first track, it's a love thing. You say techno, dance, and house is black music, in case y'all forgot.
Yeah, which they do, but
Black Sheep and your music as a whole continue to provide space to folks who might be on the margins, much like someone like Frankie Knuckles did in the 80s. How conscious of you are that when you're writing and recording?
About just being just on the outskirts of the thing. I'm not really conscious of anything when I'm writing. I'm just doing me. So it's like it's not trying to, think outside any box. I feel like because I'm very honest in my writing, that's what makes it read the way it reads. And because I have so many different references and I try to, put as much as myself into it. I also don't listen to a lot of the music that's out now. I mean, I can't avoid it. I am Black. But I mean, it's like a lot of the new music doesn't really move me, so I don't really gravitate towards it naturally. But there are other artists that I listen to, whether we're talking about singers like Ari Lennox or it's just more different sounds that inspire me. And I feel like a lot of rappers lately are just inspired by other rappers or keeping up with what other rappers is doing. And that's what's making the genre feel more flat than what it was before.
One of the reasons I started the conversation with house is because it's a sound that dominates on Black Sheep. And through that foundation, I hear other styles of music coming through. And for me, that's exactly what house is. It's a genre that has been influenced by so many others and has gone to influence other types of music. In making this album, did it draw you closer to the genre and culture and make you appreciate things about house that you didn't consciously recognize before?
I mean, I always appreciated house music and also all genres of Black music, whether we're talking about jazz or hip hop, like it doesn't really matter. For me, that's why it's kind of hard to put my music in a specific genre because I'm just spewing out my Black queer experience. So to me, it's just everything. But I think listening to house records, it kind of gives me the freedom to think like I'm just not so like constricted when I'm making a rap record to feel like this is what rap has to sound like. Like I always have to remind myself that I'm paying for the studio time. So that kind of what gives me the freedom anyway. It's like who cares? But when I started making music, there was no market necessarily for openly queer artists. So that's why a lot of my older music, it was way more explicit and, all over the place because it was like, who's going to listen to this anyway? Like, I'm just going to put this on SoundCloud, who cares? So it wasn't until the middle of my career when I started getting more media attention that I was kind of like tailoring what I was doing. But now I'm kind of like I'm attacking records like I did when I first started making music. It's like, I really don't care. It's just like, I'm just going to do what I want to do because at this point, mixing genres or, putting out a song that's 6 minutes or 2 minutes is like, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Katz produced the entire project, produced all of Black Sheep, which is kind of unbelievable given the range of sounds and genres that the album covers.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Certifiable.
I know the two of you have been working together for a while, so I imagine there's a relationship there that makes collaboration like more natural. But
Right.
I'm wondering how much conversation was had between the two of you about the sound of this project.
See, that's the thing. There's not like a meeting where I'm like, here's this mood board sonically. I think with me in collaborations, I try not to force it. So I feel like if me and a producer are locked in and we're kind of, there's that synergy there, that's when I put them in a sweatshop and I'm like, pump it out, another one. So that's kind of me and Sam's dynamic. It's like if we're locked in, I have to constantly be sending him material, constantly be sending him, whether it's like a vocal demo, and he'll do the same. He'll send me a beat. Like, for example, the beat for Crushing in the Club was something he sent me that I didn't like. And it wasn't until the end of the record that I kind of, decided to work with it. And that ended up being on an album. But for me, we don't really brainstorm like what's it going to sound like. It kind of just works. So a lot of the beat productions, I mean, during the mixing process, I might give my input of like, put this over here, maybe, this goes over here, but it just fits. So that's why we decided to just do the whole album.
One of the reasons I'm really grateful for Black Sheep is because it's issued an important reminder. I feel like I have been tapping into a lot of rap projects as of late that have a slower tempo and don't necessarily offer a space for me to groove in. And because I'm getting other things from these projects, it can be sometimes easy for me to forget that hip hop is rooted in dance. It's an art form that was founded on movement. And you really brought that back to the forefront with this new project. Was that your intention?
Like I said, I'd be too drunk to have intentions. Like I don't like it's really like if I'm gonna like it's for me, my main intention is always I want to write better songs than I did on my last record. And I don't want anybody to say that I'm a bad rapper. So those are like the main goals of like my whole ethos of what I do. But no, I feel like, yeah, I do agree. I think, a lot of the elements of hip hop that I loved are no longer, present. We could also talk about, the presence of just dance and dance communities, the dance culture in rap and hip hop. Like that's something I love. Like you said with the dance element. So I don't know. I just do me. I know it's like it's not really like a big thought out thing. As I said, I'm too busy getting drunk and traveling to be so calculated. I wish I was. Maybe I would be a bigger artist then, but To me, it's just I write and this is what I'm saying and this is what I'm feeling. I know
Yeah.
things that I won't do. Like you probably won't hear me on a drill record. It's just because that's just not, that's just not my
Hmm.
frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows? Let's talk the check. Maybe the check will be big enough.
That's right.
I don't know. Never say never.
I feel like we've had a lot of questions about intention, and I'm hearing what you're saying. It just kind of comes out. But I've just been so struck by some of the lyrics on this project. I think they're, to me, sound brilliantly layered, and I'm wondering how aware you are of that, or if it's just my interpretation. Again, the theme of the album essentially seems to be, there are no rules. I get to do my own thing. On the opener, it's a love thing, which it ends with the beat dropping out, and you saying things like this don't make sense. And I
Right.
listened to that and I thought, okay, could be a bridge to the next track where that line gets repeated in the hook, but could also be a commentary on love and relationships. Could also be a commentary on creative expression through music, and
Yes, give me all that. I will take all that and more.
well, even on like some of the sex raps, like on "Do That Baby," in the hook, you say switch that tempo. I never gave a fuck. I mean, all that to me could be interpreted as like statements about your music.
Yeah, I mean, but that's also the thing. I think sometimes when I'm writing, I don't realize things come up until after. Like when someone was like saying all the things that I'd reference that I didn't know I was referencing. So it's kind of like that kind of moment where, but that's also why I tend to not listen to a lot of like the music that's out now because we can't really control what influence us like on that kind of level. Um, but yeah, it's just, the way I write, the very wordiness, and to me, referencing things in pop culture was also a big part of hip hop and doing that. Because it's just like to make your art and your music, it was about, the social commentary of it all. So I don't know. It's I'm old. I don't know. Like I can't, the way I write and the way I rap is very reminiscent of a time that we're no longer in. So a lot of those, devices that I use, that's just how rappers I grew up listening to did, whether we're talking about metaphors or all that type of stuff, which is not really so, prevalent right now. It's just me. I don't know.
We're gonna see how many different ways we can get you to say that in this interview.
No,
This is me.
I'm like, this is gonna be a bad interview. I'm like, I rap very easy. I'm very talented. That's
Right.
that. But yeah, I don't. As far as me writing, like, I don't. Some of the things I know when I'm writing, like, oh, this sounds good, or this is like, oh, this is a good bar, or.
Yeah.
But some things I don't. I'm telling you, like, it's like I say, like the beat just speaks to me, and I'm like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So.
Which I've heard other artists talk about as
Yeah.
well.
But I'm very big on editing myself. So because I can be very, very wordy, which, coming from writing poetry, it's like sometimes I'm like, delete that but, delete that and you don't need to say that. Because writing one form versus writing music is like it's kind of different. So I have to, and I'm not really trained in any type of writing. So it's just I learn by doing it over and over.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think we've said this indirectly in the questions we've asked so far, but your confidence on this album is infectious. It's part of
Mhm.
what makes Black Sheep so good. I
Right.
really hear it on songs like Problem for Problems. To me, on this track, you're saying to folks loud and clear, I don't need your validation because I know I'm good and people are fucking with me. So stay over there because you don't want the smoke.
Right.
To quote you directly, rappers want beef, but they don't really want no problems. The
No.
the tone of this message felt like a necessary part of this project. Did you feel an urgency in ensuring that this type of energy was felt on Black Sheep, particularly by other rappers?
Yes and no. I mean, for me, it's like I have two sides. It's like, yes, I love that whole dancey house moment. But I also love, rap and like that the boom bap and the percussion elements of it. It's kind of hard. Well, I feel like I can navigate both. That's why the album is kind of split up in that kind of way. To me, it's just really annoying because dance music will always be my first love, obviously, but I'm also a rapper.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to merge those two identities, especially in the marketplace, because if you do dance music, people don't necessarily assume that you can rap. And if you rap well, people think that if you make dance music, it's kind of like you're dumbing yourself down. Like a lot of the times when the rappers in the 90s would make more commercial, songs, they would consider that not being like real rap. So that's always been something that I try to navigate, but I also feel like what else can I prove? Like it's like I feel like I proved time and time again that I can rap,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just think I just always have that little person in the back of my head telling me like step it up. Step it up.
Yeah, that's a good voice to have.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But then when you look at the climate of rap music, it's like, do I really have to be rapping like I'm about to be on the cover of Vibe? Like, do I really need to be
Well,
like, do I really need to do that? But I don't know. I mean, it fulfills me. That's all that matters. So,
Right.
sure, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the music video for My Reader.
Period.
It's brilliantly shot
Oh,
and
thank you.
really complements an already great song from beginning to end. It just feels like you're bringing us into your world. I feel that when I watch the video, listen to the song, and I hear it generally when I listen to Black Sheep. We're here, we're in your world because we're engaging with your work. Experiencing what you experience is part of the journey, right? And I don't think you necessarily extend an open invitation, but we're here,
Right.
because we're engaging with the project. I'm wondering if allowing that kind of access to yourself in your community ever feels like a risk. Do you ever hold back on sharing parts of your life and aspects of your culture that feel sacred?
Things that feel sacred. I mean, I'm very open with my identity and what I do. And I think that there's beauty in everything about myself. So I'm not like ashamed of anything, but obviously there are things that are sacred to me that I don't feel like need to be on Twitter. Like I think that, I mean, but I feel like for me, if I'm going to show a visual, that the visual needs to be as close to my actual reality as possible. Because I do have to realize that, I guess, to the average person, my typical, because I don't work on a job, but I guess my typical weekend looks way more stimulating than what the average person is up to. So it's like, yeah, let's show that. Let's show what a queer party to me looks like. Like, it's not just Black, it's not just white, it's not just men, it's not just women, it's mixy. Like, that's what I grew up partying in, and that's what I've experienced traveling around the world. So for me, it's more just about, like you said, bringing the listener or the viewer into my space, into my world. And that's just how music was always for me, so. Yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna, like, why not just see a moment? Even if you don't like it, it's like, just get into it. Like, just try it.
Right, yeah. And I think when I said sacredness, I was thinking about giving folks access to yourself and your culture, because I feel like once you allow that, things could change.
Yeah.
Especially if you give too much access.
Well, I think that is a good point, but I feel like if I don't give the access, who else will? It should be me, because when it gets to the point of other people giving the access or other people telling the stories, that's when it's not coming from the source. So that's when it becomes an issue. So
you don't control
rather me be the one to showcase, the narrative, than have someone else, be like, oh, this is what Cakes was on. It's like, no, you could see what I'm on. It's right there.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
In the cut, no K for me. Know a couple they thems wanna bang my beat. Trying to eat it off the bone in my hotel suite. Facing body got me looking like a masterpiece. Fem top, get me hot off your frequency. Soul to soul, like we chatting over ESP. Now watch me slow wine over wine and the passion. Hating in the club cause they know that we smashing. Do it how I do it cause I move it like I'm macking. Word on the block, skinny cats really packing. Stacking, never code switch, that shape shift is drastic. Hoes trying to rock my old flows is tragic. You on me so close I can taste it. Mouth to mouth, tongue to tongue, don't waste it. Fill my cup, no chaser, no patience. About to jack in, red dot to the matrix.
In the darkness, I can read your mind. No need for lies. I need you. In the darkness, I can read your mind. Look at the signs, I know you want me. In the darkness, I can read your mind. No need for lies. I need you. In the darkness, I can read your mind. Look at the signs, I know you want me.
back to Mind Reader. In your first verse, you say, never code switch, a shape shift. To me, it feels like this is a celebration of the freedom that comes with being able to explore and experiment with your identities without having to completely change who you are at the core.
Right.
In what ways has hip hop challenged that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess there has been, you mean like as general of the genre or like directly towards me?
Directly towards you and just your freedom to explore.
I mean, I really haven't had too many run-ins with any hip hop gatekeepers. Like, but I'm also not the person that's like, let me perform at Summer Jam. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like
Right.
I've had my moments of, you know, intersecting with that urban market, you know, and those moments have been great, whether we're talking about that out in hip hop special I did for like the Love and Hip Hop, or we're talking about the time I was on that reality show for Netflix. So those moments are always fun. And like, you know, I come in kind of guarded because I'm like, don't try it. What's up? But I mean, I can't really say too many moments. I mean, I guess like the Hot 97 interview that I did a couple years ago, a lot of people feel like that was a very uncomfortable thing. But in the moment, I didn't feel like that was uncomfortable because that would be the same type of conversation people have with their uncles or their parents about, you know, living this lifestyle. So
Right.
I get more attention within my own community, to be honest. And I always say that. And, you know, for me, I'm just like, you go where the love is. I don't focus on the drama. Like, you know, we're having earthquakes. Life is too short. Like,
Word.
yeah, I'm like, ooh. So yeah, I don't know.
In 2001, you released a semi-autobiographical short film called Visibility Sucks.
Mm.
In an interview with Paper Magazine, you described the larger message of the film as, quote, sometimes the plan isn't going to go the way you want it to go, and that's fine because the bigger picture is that you are, in fact, the divine plan, and you got this.
Wow, look at me.
Yeah,
Wow.
dropping some wisdom.
I need to be talking. I need to have my own Oprah show.
Inspirational speaker, I think.
Right. That's what happens with alcoholism, you know. You open up your third eye chakra.
I wondered how much this message impacted the way you approached Black Sheep.
I think that message and that realization kind of is what fueled the confidence. I feel like I've always been a very confident character. I've always been a confident person. And that's always read through in my music. But I think confidence and just, I don't know, it's a different word. I know what I'm doing. And it's like if you come to me and you want like a Cakes Da Killa record, I know what to do. Like if there's no doubt anymore. And I think that at some earlier parts of my career, I don't think it was a doubt, but it was still like, girl, what's going on? It's like, okay, music, you know, like what? Am I really doing this? And now I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm doing, you know, this is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah. Another quote that I remember reading from you or hearing from you in a different interview was something like, I know I don't need to please anyone anymore.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's part of where this confidence comes from.
Yeah, I mean, because you also have to keep in mind, like I come from the underground. So there wasn't, you know, now there isn't really an underground because of social media. But at that point, it's like none of us were really supposed to be mainstream or supposed to be able to get that. And since then, a lot of people who I came up with have crossed over and have achieved that mainstream success. So for me, I'm just like, I already know I got it. I just gotta get it situated. Like who needs to get the hand job to open the door? You know, she's here. Like, you know.
Kind of along those same lines, Fada wrote a piece about Black Sheep recently, and the article ends by saying, when it comes to getting what he wants, Cakes Da Killa will never be scared.
Period.
What did it take for you to get here? And how do you feel like you portray this fearlessness in your music?
Well, being a bottom is what really started off the fearlessness. So once you just do that, that just really gets you situated. But
Okay.
for me, I think I care, but I really don't care. And I think that just comes from, you know, I came out in the third grade. Like there should have been a lot that I should have cared about that I just didn't. And thankfully, I had a mom who allowed me the space to be able to do what I wanted to do. Maybe if I didn't have my mom as a parent, it would be different. But it's like what's gonna happen? Like, what's the worst that could happen? So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm only here once. You know, people make mistakes. And when I think about what my career has become, I rhyme words on beats. Like I'm not, I'm like, I anytime I record something, I'm always like, there's definitely a worse record than this. So uh, like I can't, that's just what keeps me motivated. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hear different influences rap wise throughout Black Sheep in particular. And I'm guessing where it concerns hip hop and MCs, many of the folks who've had an impact on you over the years are not out queer rappers.
No.
I think the culture has changed a little bit, but representation still feels really scarce. Has it been important for you to provide the representation you didn't and still don't see in hip hop?
Uh, I don't know, because I feel like at the beginning, I just wanted to meet whatever requirements that I had put in my head on what constitutes being a rapper. And I felt like my identity could have been a demerit. So I was like, I have to make sure that I'm on top of my stuff at all times. That has since gone out the window. For me, I think that there are way more visible people in the sphere in the urban market. You know, we have people like Lil Nas X, we have people like Saucy Santana. That's big, for me. So should there be more? Yes, but there's also probably we know there's a bunch of queer people. They're just not open. So that's the other side of the coin. It's like, how visible do you want these people to be? For me, I just want quality music. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Just get me up that way. Like, that's just how I look at it. And I think if consumers just thought about it like that, I think a lot of things would be better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Come on. Busta Rhymes, Janet Jackson, here we go. One time, baby, just tell me just how you feel. We living it and just giving it to you real, baby, come on. Every time we crossing the borderline, we giving it to you, making you feel fine. Turn the heat up, better believe we gon' shine. Make your body wine, baby, the pleasure is all mine. To my people who be regulating the dance floor. Better step to your business and handle yours, how we do it. Making your people just wanna bounce and get busy because you know that we always hit you off. What you say? You wondering why you feeling the force. And don't you worry, cause you'll be ready to floss. More heat, cause I always put you on. And blow the spot to the very second I'm gone. Get your groove on. Now that you're tired, I hope your body be cooping because we're keeping you moving. That's what we're doing, and you know we're gonna make your body wet. Yeah. Make your body go scream out, yeah. Make it think of naughty things. On me, on you. Yeah. What it's gonna be. Make your body wet. Come on.
Okay, so every episode, we spend the second half of the episode talking about a hip hop album chosen by our guests. It's a hip hop album that has influenced them in some way, or it's a classic as defined by them. So tonight we are talking about Extinction Level Event, The Final World Front by Busta Bus. So why are we talking about this album tonight?
We're talking about this album because I feel like a lot of people like Busta to me is one of those artists that has transcended the genres for so many different reasons, whether we're talking about what he does visually, just his uniqueness, like kind of like how the way people treat like Missy Elliott, like it's like they kind of transcended it. But Busta is a rapper first and foremost, so we have to just give him that. Like always will be my like in my top 5 dead or alive, period. But I feel like when we talk about Busta Rhymes, we really don't talk about his albums or talk about the body of work a lot of the times. Like a lot of people just focus on the videos. And I'm like, when you get into these albums, they definitely are a fully immersive experience. And this is such a good example of that. Like it's a full narrative on this album that kind of is, as you said, looking out the window. I don't know. Busta was on to something. So yeah, that's why I picked it. Yeah.
Yeah. You said that you were old earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask how old unless you want to tell us, but when
She's
did you
old.
She's
She's up there. She's up there. She's
When
old
did
enough to get it done. Let's just say that.
I feel that? When did you first hear this album?
I don't remember actually, because I kind of just went on a Busta Rhymes kick one day and just listened to everything. But I'm pretty sure that my uncle had this album when I was little. So I'm pretty sure it was one of those type of moments.
Yeah.
Growing up, music wasn't really like my thing, to be honest. Like,
Mm.
so I wasn't like that kid that was like constantly listening to music, but I would just take things that my uncle would have because I thought he was cool and it annoyed him. So it was kind of like two birds, one stone.
Mm.
Is this your favorite Busta Rhymes album?
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it's, to me, it's one of the stronger ones, to be honest.
Mhm.
And I just feel like
Yeah.
it was just fitting because this album has, the song with Janet on it, which was like the amazing one. And I kind of think that that single with that video kind of eclipsed the album, but I think the album does have deep cuts, I guess you could call them, or B-sides that I do like. So I think that that's why I picked it. Like the album had, what's the Janet Jackson song? What's it gonna be? But there's
Yeah.
so much other songs on the album that to me just are crazy, whether we're talking about the production or just how he, writes the records. So
I just remember thinking that song was crazy. I remember at the
yeah.
time being like, he's got Janet Jackson on this song singing about wet dreams. That's
Yeah.
wild. Like,
Yeah. Like
I thought,
pushing it. Like, like who's
yeah,
doing it? Like, yeah.
Like still in her prime. Like he got Janet Jackson and Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
right.
That's
Right.
wild to me.
No, but you see, this is why, like, at this time, I do feel like there was a lot of like that kind of moments. Like, even I think Little Kim dropped the album around this time, and she had Grace Jones on a record. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people make these genres seem so separated, but I think the main thing is talent. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
if you're really doing it, like, and why wouldn't Ozzy want to do a song with Busta? Like, it's Busta. Like, come on, like,
Right.
get
Yeah.
into it. Like, so I live completely.
I had totally forgot that he did a second ELE, like
Mm.
until today. Like he dropped one in
Oh, another
2020. Yeah.
right,
And it's interesting to hear the different energy levels on the two albums. Like I was trying to
right.
decide why the energy is different. I mean, obviously the second one came out like 23 years later, so he's not
Mhm.
going to sound the same. But I
Right.
almost felt like at that point in 2020, I mean, he didn't need to come with all this energy. He still speaks with the same conviction,
Mhm.
and people are going to buy in because it's Busta Rhymes,
Right.
you know?
It's just something about beats as well. Like I feel like listening to rappers' beats now. I don't know if it's the fact that there's no more music in these public school systems, but it's something that's lacking to me production wise that I feel like that's why even like with a lot of my music, thankfully Sam plays his little instruments. I'm like, please put a little string there, put a little, because I feel like that's also what I miss too. Like, but I get it, it's expensive, it takes a lot, but that's why another reason why I picked the album, because a lot of these productions on this record, it's like insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there particular tracks that come to mind when you think
Oh,
about that?
period. What's the one that I really like? Well, the first song, like Everybody Rise is crazy, where he's like shouting, New York, Jersey. I'm like, wait a
Really?
minute, like that's crazy. Like, I feel like if that came out today, that would be crazy. But my favorite song on the album, what is it? It's a tie between Tear the Roof Off
Mm.
and well, this album also has Give Me Some More. It's like it has a lot. It has a lot.
It does.
Give It To Me Raw is good too. Like, just get into Busta. I think the main takeaway that I would say is, yes, give Busta Rhymes his life, but for the videos and all that, but definitely listen to Busta Rhymes records. Like, like,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. That the first couple of tracks, like after the intro, is just a straight solid run. It's you're
Period.
full of fucking energy. It is just
Flip
insane.
mode, getting crazy, getting
Yeah.
buff.
It's
just
stupid.
just
Yeah.
getting stupid. Like,
Ooh.
right, like, yeah, shout out to Flipbo, no shade.
Mhm.
I also think the production, I mean, I'm thinking about the production now. And I think the production on this album is so much stronger than When Disaster Strikes, the album that came before. And I like When Disaster Strikes a lot. But when I listened to it this past week, I was like, oh, damn, these beats are good. They sound great.
It's because motherfuckers was playing, they was playing the violin and doing all that shit. They was learning. They was learning notes.
Yeah.
They was learning how to read sheet music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True.
It wasn't just giving Fruity Loops.
The only beats on here that sound of the time are the Swiss beats.
Which one's this do? Wait, I don't
did
have to play. Hold on, let me.
He did Give It To Me Raw,
Okay.
and he did Tear the Roof Off.
I was going to say, I think
Hold
Taylor
on, hold
Swift
on.
was-
Oh yeah, give it to me. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me just go through these really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Party is going on over here. That's the sickest beat.
Bust it rhyme, baby. Put your bum. Yo, ever since Jimmy cracked corn, rockin' on. Ever since the day I was born. Yes, we get busy whenever we have to perform. Shaking your tushy, making your pussy get warm. Until all you niggas is gone, I be hitting until the morning. Got you caught in my storm. Bounce my niggas, bounce my bitches. With the shit that they really have all you niggas going crazy. Suffer from head rushes while niggas be smoking Dutches. Bitches be getting all in it, ripping their pants crutches, wiggle their belly buttons. Hey, wait a minute, I wanna get all in it. Long as my shorty with it, you know I'm coming to get it. Doing it till you're making you really wonder who said it. Swelling your melon while you're yelling, I check out the credit. Giving it till you're making you give me back more. Coming through too. Yes, and we be kicking down your door. Keeping it raw, my nigga.
Who did Party is going on over here? Because that beat,
DJ Scratch.
Scratch, yeah.
that's come on. Scratch did his thing on that.
Yeah. All the Scratch joints on here are good. He did
All
give
the
me some more
scratch
too.
joints.
Yeah.
All the Knots joints on here are
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually my favorite song. Party is going over it because I don't know. Like to me, I think just because something isn't like single worthy, you know how they have that kind of like,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it's not a like crazy song. And like that song, how he just rides that beat and the way that beat is, I'm just like, it's like when you hear a beat and you could like taste it or like you have, it's like, that's what I miss. Like those type of like, ooh, like what is going on? Like, you know, so yeah, shout out to Scratch Work.
You mentioned flip mode earlier, and I always love the flip mode like posse cuts.
Yeah, right.
I wonder what your thoughts are on some of the other flip mode members like Rod Digger and Lord Have Mercy.
Period. I was just in China listening to Party and Bullshit in the airport. So shout out to Radiga. Crazy. Who else is in flip mode? Split Star. Shout out to that's the thing, right? Shout out to Split Star.
Yeah.
Shout out to the whole roster. I don't know how many people because they roll deep like Wu-Tang, but shout out to the whole flip mode. You already know.
I feel like we have to talk about Lord Have Mercy because I just love that dude's voice so much. What a unique style. It's so great. I love it.
I love a unique moment. That's why one of my favorite rappers I'm obsessed with. There's so many that I'm obsessed with that have a unique voice. But I don't think nobody's seeing Magoo as far as like vocal.
Magoo.
And they try to play with Magoo like Magoo is not it.
They do. They do.
Magoo will wrap circles around a lot of people. R.I.P. to Magoo.
Wow.
No shit.
Yeah.
So
You're
yeah,
right though. Nobody sounded like Magoo.
yeah, that's why I'm like, but that's what makes it fab. Like, like that's what rap is supposed to be. Now I turn on the radio. I mean, do I listen to the radio? Whatever streaming I'm listening to, everybody sounds the same. I'm like, where's the Magoo voice at? Like,
Yeah. Word. I want Raw Digger all the time, every day.
Oh my God.
it gets pretty crazy. Yeah.
Like,
She's great.
I was listening to Dirty Harriet today, and I was like, God damn, she
Right.
just be running circles around people.
She from that battle rap era. See, I
She
rap
is.
that, but I'm definitely not. I'm a songwriter. Hold up. I mean, I could get there with you, but after a certain amount of time, it's like we just gonna have to fight. Like I can't. Like, come on. Like it's just too much, you know, it's too much.
Oh,
She has such like presence,
yeah.
such authority. It's so strong. It's
Well,
great.
you have to look. What group? She was in another collective before she got with Flip Mode. I forgot.
She was. I
But
forget
other
the name of
collective,
it though. Yeah.
They was all just like, what they all just in Jersey, just rapping all day. Like, see, I
Yeah.
wasn't in that kind of boot camp. Like, I would like to be in one of those type of moments, but Yeah.
She used to be a regular at Lyricist Lounge, and
Right.
I just remember there was I don't know what documentary it was on, but it was her rapping when she was really pregnant, and she was fucking it up. It was
Wow.
wild.
Right. These people love eat, sleep, breathe the culture. Like that's what's missing. Like
Yeah.
they not really zooming it. Everybody just getting the record, chasing the bag, honey. You
Yeah.
know?
Outsiders. She was in a.
That's
Oh,
it.
right.
That's
Outsider.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever bumped your head and thought, "Yeah, I gotta flip it on him"?
I mean, yeah. After this earthquake, that definitely was like that moment. I was like, yeah, survive that. Especially because I'm sleeping in a loft bed. So it was like I was on the roof, like, oh, it's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Time to,
wild.
time to flip it on.
Time to flip it on him. Flip mode. Flip mode's the greatest.
Period. Where's the rap clicks at? That's what they be beefing too much. You can't even have a solid rap click no more because everybody is ego. Like that's what I want to bring back. We should be a rap click.
Oh wow.
We would be
Can
like the Black Eyed Peas, but dare I say a little cooler.
Oh wow.
Dare I say they're cool.
I won't disagree with that.
We could push it though. But yeah, I miss rap clicks. Yeah.
Mm.
You don't like rap clicks? You don't
No,
like
I'm saying
No, yeah.
okay,
I miss the rap collective.
yeah, the rap collective. I mean, I know that publishing was not doing much, but
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love it. There's beauty in numbers.
Yeah.
For
That's definitely feels like a thing of the past, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. I had completely forgotten about the song with Mystical
Oh,
on
yeah.
this album.
Wait, what was that?
What's it called?
Oh,
Are you
I know.
Are you riding with us? Are you
Yeah,
riding with us?
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten about that song, and then I listened to it this week, and I could not understand a single word that Mystical said.
Yeah. Takes it there.
But I hear people like talk about him like he was a great rapper, which I don't need to argue with, but I'm just confused by.
I think Mystical was just like, it was like an aesthetic, you know? And I think at that time, people were more genuine in that. So it's just like there's only one Mystical. Now everyone is trying to sound like somebody that's, like having a moment. So yeah, Mystical definitely played a game, and I was subscribed.
Yeah.
I
I lived in the South when he came out, and he was definitely
It was
revered.
big.
Where is Mystical from again?
New Orleans. He's
Oh.
part of No Limit.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mhm.
See, I need to get in a rap clique.
Start one.
Nah, I don't need that overhead. I'm just trying to
just
tag
join
along.
up.
I'm just trying to tag along,
Without the responsibility. Actually.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't have no problem being second, third stream. Just tag me when the videos is coming out. They need to bring back Terror Squad or somebody,
Mm.
I'm definitely with
Yeah.
that.
Okay, well, let us know when you join. We'll have you and the posse on.
Okay, period. Me and 30 people.
Yeah, all 30 of you
Let's go.
Okay, period.
crash in the Zoom room.
Love that.
Cakes, this has been a pleasure and so much fun. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you so
time.
much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Before we go, is there anything you want folks to know where they can buy Black Sheep?
Period. You can definitely get Black Sheep everywhere music is being streamed. I don't know if they're selling it at this point. Is anybody selling music? I don't know, but definitely get into it everywhere. Be on the lookout for Black Sheep Plus. The deluxe version will be coming out, and I'm also going on tour, so hit me up on socials. Catch me live. Let's have a drink. Let's talk about Busta Rhymes, and let's just be merry.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this has been The Next Movement. Thanks for listening. Peace.
There ain't never been a need to beg your pardon. With this baby doll face, I still get carded. Keep it strong, struck, walking so unbothered. Steady getting to the bag without no problems. Why they say this mad? Cause I flow's cathartic. Maybe cause I stay abroad, living life so exotic. Good in any hood from the birth to the projects. And I keep a good connect, Jefferson to the Rogers. The style so butter, never paying a cover. Got my name on every list from Japan to Calcutta. Feeling many fresh kicks, the #1 stunner. Nickname booked and Buzzy, aka the Road Runner. But I got a bookie BX to Tijuana. That's a goody, ooh la 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 la. High fashion wordplay, all the things that I say. Hips going switch like you burning up a runway. I wanna be made over, can you make me